Hello, hello. Come on in, come on in. We are live on the Saga Reveal on the air. So get comfy, get cozy. Remember, this channel is only for commentary and entertainment. Don't take me too seriously. We're reading. So welcome, welcome. Please hit the like button, subscribe, and share for notifications. Alrighty. So I'm going to continue on the Inner City Press read from yesterday and finish it up, try it for this week so I can start the second week next week. Alrighty. Let me share my screen. I do believe this is where we were yesterday. Let's go back. Yes, perfect. The second day of the trial. Cassie and no video, he calls it. Thank you to Inner City Press. Oh, you know what? Let me put on my banner for him. I did prepare a banner. Where are you? Where are you? Oh, yeah. Let me see here. Here we go. Where is my banner? Sorry, guys. They've changed the layout on the stream. So, it's kind of interesting. Everything has changed. Okay, well, I'll find it in due time. Oh, well, we'll figure it out after that. All right, so get cozy. I got my tea. So all rise, Judge Subramanian. Let's try to get through these issues, efficiencies, as we have the jurors waiting. Oh yeah, the judge has been getting annoyed a little bit with their procedures. And he did ask them to be prompt on time and ahead and pass their motions the night before. Okay, so we have a letter from a juror. We will make court exhibit 1 on the video. When will they be offered into evidence, he says. So, Assistant U.S. Attorney Johnson, this afternoon, Judge Subramanian, this is about evidence that is coming into the case. The public has a right to know what is happening at trial. Good job, Judge. And I don't see how we would navigate that concern. There is a potential impact on the juror, signaling some evidence requiring sealing. Assistant U.S. Attorney Johnson says, we just wouldn't show the video to the court gallery. And the jurors and everyone, she says, and the jurors and everyone, I guess he finished it there. Yeah. Okay. So the male dancer, he says, they used to call me cowboy when I did see exotic dances. Then Diddy in a bandana. That's a little resume he put in there. I wanted what he had, even as I had it, as an imposter, as an entertainment. He wanted to have that little life. When they gave me Molly, I gave away their money. Every bum in Times Square having more than me. Now, this Mr. X asked about the website. That old man over there finally out from behind the mask. Oh, yeah. It's like, I think he makes like a little poem, or I don't know, but it's kind of the beginning for to introduce the male dancer. So, second day of the trial, Cassie and no videos. So, Judge Superman, let's try to get these into evidence, blah, blah, blah. So, let's read it. Let's try to get through these issues efficiently as we have the jurors waiting. We have a letter from a juror, and we will make court exhibit 1 on the videos. When will they be offered into evidence? He says. As Assistant U.S. Attorney John says, this afternoon, Judge Subramanian goes, this is about evidence that is coming into the case. The public has the right to know what is happening at trial. I don't see how we would navigate that concern. There's a potential impact on the juror of signaling some evidence required sealing. Assistant U.S. Attorney Johnson says, we just wouldn't show the videos to the court gallery and the jurors and everyone. So it goes on. And the would wear headphones as well. They will wear headphones so everybody doesn't have to hear it. These materials are sexually explicit or involve a nudity. One has submitted a letter, actually. Combs Agnifalo's lawyer, this is adult blah, blah, blah. That's what it is. Sorry, I can't say those things too much on YouTube. So it's narrowly tailored. Our application is only that the visual image and the audio is within the ambit of the sealing order. We would ask question tastefully. Combs Agnifalo, what would the New York NYT and WSG do with this? Note, they are not the only press. Sometimes things get unsealed and published. Judge, on 2 incidents with Miss Ventura when we discussed it this last week. Defense, the assault in connection message between Miss Ventura and Mr. Combs, it's irrelevant. Let's see if there's any issue. The judge goes. Assistant U.S. Attorney, it should be excluded. Combs, Teeny Gray goes, he suspected she was cheating on him. She did not answer her phone. She got into a bar fight and tried to kill someone. So it's irrelevant to this suspicious and her substance abuse outside of S relationship. Miss Tenny Gray goes, Combs' lawyer says she was taking drugs while close with her family in other states. Judge, I overrule the government's objection. This can be asked about now. Prior consistent statement. We are talking about sequencing issue. Are they on direct or a rebuttal? So Assistant U.S. Attorney Johnson says in their openings, they said Miss Ventura made her own choices. They asked who really had control in this relationship, clearly begging the answer that is what Miss Ventura exhibit B315. The threat release of S tapes, they said only she's had it. Combs Alexandra Shapiro goes, we submit that these are her say until redirect. Judge, if they come in, they're in. You don't object. Shapiro, we do. What we say in the opening was that Mr. Combs, Judge, you seem to say that she was lying about threats to release videos? Combs Shapiro. The predicate for prior consistency statement hasn't been met. Judge, I find that it has. Ooh. So the for this exhibit, he says to judge, the defense opening there will um, said there will millions of dollars of reason for people to testify here. That's the attack that was used as B3162. Judge, but the standard met has not yet been reached as B32 and B39. Okay, get Mr. Phillips in the witness box, then bring the jury. All rise. Combs Xavier, lawyer. So, to continue, you return to Gramercy Hotel. Male dancer, yes. Combs Donaldson, lawyer. Will you and Miss Casey, also, I guess this was the defense who called him. Is it the defense? Oh, yeah. Let's see, Judge. All rise. Okay. Mr. Combs Xavier. So, to continue, you return to Gramercy Hotel. The male dancer, Philip. Yes. Donaldson, Combs' lawyer. Will you and Miss Casey Ventura, while you and Mrs. Casey Ventura were having S for hours, Miss Ventura took the lead. Philip, no. Donaldson, you took the lead. Philip, we were equally doing our thing. There wasn't a leader. Donaldson, you decide together. Philip, yes. Mr. Combs Donaldson. Fair to say she was in complete control of everything she was doing. Male answer, Philip, I can't say that. Donaldson says, you did not wear a condom. Philip, I did not. Your boss told you Miss Ventura, Cassie Ventura paid for the hotel. Continues on, Philip, yes. Mr. Combs Donaldson, the lawyer, said, she paid with her credit card. The male answer, Philip, I have nothing to do with that. She used her card and paid for the dancer. Donaldson, okay, that assault at her apartment on this place, Philip, I believe it was West End Avenue. Donaldson, Combs, you claimed Mr. Combs told her to come over. She said she had her personal information on the computer. So wait a minute. And he threw a towel at her, he says. Philip, correct? Donaldson, he comes out and says, are you ready? Philip, are you guys ready? Are you guys ready? Mr. Donaldson Combs, isn't it true Mr. Combs told you, yo man, I'm going to have to deal with this. You need to get the F out. Philip, the male dancer, that is not correct. Donaldson, in 2023, you didn't tell the prosecutor. He said, yo man. And the assistant U.S. attorney goes, objection, not in evidence, judge, sustained. You can only use it to try to refresh his recollection. Combs Donaldson goes, read it to yourself. Does it refresh you? Male dancer, Philip says, I do not remember saying that. What I am reading here, get the fuck out. Assistant U.S. attorney says, objection, and the judge disregards that. And the Donaldson Combs lawyer, did you date a model named Aaliyah? And the male Philip dancer says, Malia, and I didn't say I dated her. We were friends. Malia Donaldson, you were with her and saw Cassie with someone, not Mr. Combs. Yes, you told Malia, it's Malia, you saw Cassie socially. Male Philip answered, yes. Combs Donaldson, you thought Cassie wanted to see you one on one? Nothing to do with Combs, right? Philip, I don't see what you mean. Donaldson, in front of the Dream Hotel, that's what you thought? Philip goes, no. Mr. Combs Donaldson, you only saw her inebriated one time. Philip goes, I saw her passed out on the couch. Mr. Combs told me, I don't think it's going to happen tonight. Donaldson says, the time with the other male you rotated? Philip, not correct. Donaldson, you watched? Yes. Combs Donaldson goes, you said Mr. Combs was directing, but do you recall meeting the prosecutor on March 20, 2025 and telling them you didn't recall Mr. Combs giving direction about positions? Philip said, yes, Donaldson. So he didn't direct? Philip goes, incorrect. Combs Donaldson, you thought you were in a relationship with Cassie, didn't you? The male dancer Philip is like, no. Donaldson goes, you wanted to get alone with her, to date her. Of course, he's going to try to turn it on him. Philip says, if she'd let me, I would have, Donaldson. You get jealous of Mr. Combs? Philip was like, no. Yeah. Combs Donaldson, did you not tell them that Mr. Combs wouldn't tell you? Uh, did you not tell them that Mr. Combs wouldn't tell? It's my turn. Objection. Can we have a sidebar? Sidebar, they go. Combs Donaldson comes back. Didn't you tell the government that you would feel jealous because you liked Ventura romantically? Philip, I do not recall that. Donaldson, put up 3570, Assistant U.S. Attorney. Just for the parties, Philip, I do not recall that. Just for the parties. I do not recall that, says Philip. Donaldson, nothing further. Judge, redirect. Assistant U.S. Attorney, please explain why you now say Mr. Combs now, please explain why you now say Mr. Combs directed you. Clips says he asked about positions, but Mr. Combs did tell us what to do. Use baby oil, for example. So the assistant U.S. attorney goes, the timing of the handing of cash, how did the amount compare to your stripping service? Philip goes, 3,800 more. Assistant U.S. attorney goes, how much were you paid to perform when you could? Philip said 7 to 5 or 6,000. 700 to 5 to 6, yeah, thousands of dollars. Assistant U.S. attorney goes, and when you couldn't perform, they'd pay me nothing. Assistant U.S. attorney, did Miss Ventura, call you after the Dream Hotel? Yes. Do you know who she was with? Asked the assistant U.S. district attorney. Philip goes, no. Assistant U.S. attorney goes, did she answer your text message? Philip goes, never. Almost. Assistant U.S. attorney, you said you wanted to hug her. Why? I could see she was afraid, says Philip. Oh, you get the pity for her. Who wouldn't? Assistant U.S. Attorney. Maybe not all the bodyguards, but so far we at least have Philip the male stripper. Let's go. Philip, I could see she was afraid. Assistant U.S. Attorney. What did you do, Philip? I could not engage. I was messed up. Assistant U.S. Attorney goes, what did Mr. Combs say to you, Philip? He said, it's time for you to go. Um, Philip, he said, it's time for you to go. Assistant U.S. Attorney goes, in the Gramercy Hotel, who was in the room? Dave asked. Philip says, Sean Combs, myself, and Cassie. Assistant U.S. Attorney goes, when she appeared to enjoy herself, was Combs always in the room? Yes. Was that the same man who called her bitch and beat her? Philip goes, I did not see the beating. I presume Donaldson Combs go. Objection. The judge is sustained. The assistant attorney goes, you heard slapping. Philip goes, yes. Assistant U.S. Attorney goes, nothing further. Judge, any recross? Donaldson goes, briefly. So Donaldson goes, for Combs, this document, do you see where you said, I'm on the Upper West Side? She said, 10 West End Avenue. Hit me when you're there. Philip goes, yes. Donaldson, do you see your text? Don't give a fuck if I'm a little tipsy. I love y'all N-words. Philip says yes. Donaldson goes, and that was after the beating? Yes. Donaldson goes, nothing further. Okay. Assistant U.S. Attorney goes, why did you write that? Philip, I want them to see I had no problem with what he had done. I kept it going. No further question. For the money, for the job, right? So now, no further question, he goes. Assistant U.S. Attorney goes, sidebar before the next witness. Judge is like, yes. Jurors take a break. They have some issues to deal with. Combs, Anna Maria Estabo would like Mr. Ventura's husband not to be allowed in the courtroom during the testimony. We may need to call him as a witness later. They might call him depending on the direct. Assistant U.S. Attorney Johnson, I am not sure how Mr. Bynes' testimony would be relevant to Miss Gregos, he says. The judge. Combs, Teeny Gregos goes, give me 15 seconds. If he wants to come into the courtroom today, but we ask that he be excluded when the testimony gets into post 2018. Assistant U.S. Attorney, in my initial examination, she says, Johnson, I will ask about post 2018, but only about the vices. The judge goes, Ms. Gray goes, Combs, Teeny Gray goes, that's okay. Judge, we'll be back in a couple of minutes. All right. The government calls Cassandra Ventura there where she comes in. She takes a stand extremely pregnant, and the assistant U.S. Attorney Johnson goes, how old are you, Ventura? 38 goes. Assistant U.S. Attorney, what is your work? Ventura says, a musician and entertainer. Assistant U.S. Attorney, how long were you with Sean? Ventura, 10 years. Assistant U.S. Attorney Johnson, did you get in arguments? Ventura, yes, it would result into violence dragging. Yeah, because you can't hit no other guys and fight with a man. What else did you do, Ventura? Did he do? Ventura says, stomp me in the head if I was down. How frequently was he violent? They ask Ventura, too frequently. I would get black eyes and bruises. Assistant U.S. Attorney Johnson, let me show you a video. And they show him the video. Where is this? Ventura goes, the Intercontinental in Los Angeles. It was after an F off. Assistant U.S. Attorney goes, what does that email? Ventura says the hiring of an escort, setting it up. Assistant U.S. Attorney goes, how did you feel when first asked for it? Ventura, confused, nervous. I wanted to make him happy. Assistant U.S. Attorney goes, did you agree to one when he first proposed one? Ventura says, yes, but there were more. Then there were more. It wasn't something I wanted to do, at least not that frequently. Ventura says, I didn't know what no could turn into. Assistant U.S. Attorney goes, what do you mean? Ventura is like, making him angry. Assistant U.S. Attorney goes, what were you afraid would happen if you said no? Ventura, to time he had blackmailed materials. Every fun time was blackmailed. Next, what did you give the government? Ventura goes, laptops. I've handed up a GXB. Do you recognize it? Yes. I've reviewed these drive. It has communications and documents pertaining to Mr. Combs. Assistant U.S. Attorney goes, did you review photos on it? Miss Ventura goes, yes. What's this photo? Me in 2004 with Carrie Morgan. When did you sign? When did you sign with Bad Boy Records? 2006. It was a 10-album deal. Ooh, shady, shady. As your employee, not your girlfriend. Never was publicly your girlfriend. All right, Assistant U.S. Attorney, did you release any after late 2006? No. Who's in this photo, Ventura? Kim Porter. She was Sean's ex before me and the mother of his children. Assistant U.S. Attorney. Where did you celebrate your birthday in this photo, Ventura? In Las Vegas. Carrie Morgan was there too. We are out on his patio at my 21st birthday. VMAs. Assistant U.S. Attorney. What happened there, Ventura? Sean kissed me in the bathroom. I ran back to my hotel. Ooh. Told Carrie, U.S. Attorney goes, when you got back to New York, when did you get back to New York? When you got back to New York, Ventura, I'd visit him in the Trump Hotel in Columbus Circle. His apartment was being renovated. Assistant U.S. Attorney goes, what were you doing with your music career? Trying to come up with a concept, Ventura says. Sean called all of the shots. Assistant U.S. Attorney, what is the age difference between you and Sean? Bang, bang. 17 years. Probably the age of our parents. You know what? Let me check on something here. Hold on. Yeah, let's see. Okay, we got the banner here. Where is it? Here we go. Open. There we go. Oh, hold on. Let me try to make it slightly smaller so it fits. It fits all. Perfect. Here we go. Inner City Press. Here we go. We got it here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Alrighty. So, what were you doing? Yeah, this is where we were. He called the shot. What is the different age? So go. Assistant U.S. Attorney, how did you feel when Sean invited you to hotels? Ventura, nervous, excited. We're going to talk about music. He introduced me to Oral S. I didn't understand it. Assistant U.S. Attorney goes, did you visit Sean in Miami? Ventura goes, yes. I went with Carrie Morgan and Dallas Austin. Assistant U.S. Attorney, what did you and Sean do? Ta-da. Together. Ventura S. Intercourse. He gave me Blue Dolphin ecstasy on a boat. Assistant U.S. Attorney goes, had you once before taken ecstasy unintentionally? Yes. Assistant U.S. Attorney, how did you take ecstasy unintentionally? It was in Gatorade, she said. Oh. When you took it unintentionally with Sean, how did it feel? Like a rolling at the time, what did you think? Ventura, that we were spending a lot of time together. Ventura, I thought we were monogamous. Was it made public? Ventura, no. Duh. I was his artist, also his family, his children. Assistant U.S. Attorney, who was linked to him publicly? Kim Porter. I knew it. He's the only one he'd show up with. The rest were background vacation girls. Assistant U.S. Attorney goes, how did Sean treat you at this time? Oh, we had fun, she said. Assistant Attorney goes, what was his lifestyle like? Ventura, he had all these assistants. He could get things done. He traveled quite a bit. Assistant U.S. Attorney, what's this photo? Ventura, Sean and I at a trip club in New York, like 2007 or 2008 Halloween. Assistant U.S. Attorney goes, how did Sean's mood vary day to day? She says day to day. Assistant Attorney, when it swung, could you describe it? Ventura, anger, zoning out. Assistant U.S. Attorney, did it impact you? Ventura, greatly. The next thing I knew, I was getting hit in the face. There was also psychological abuse. He'd tell me to watch my mouth, change my face. Assistant U.S. Attorney, how would he keep tabs on you? Ventura, we didn't live far apart. He'd send security to come find me. Or a trusted assistant. Ooh, all the employees being implicated here. Like who? Ventura says, David James, Christina Coram, blah, blah, blah. Assistant U.S. Attorney goes, was your relationship exclusive? Ventura's like, no, it was not just the only side girl or the F off girl. That's so bad. Did you see another man, Ventura? Yes. Did Sean see other women? Ventura. Ventura says, yes. He said, I'm a puff daddy. I was insanely jealous. Yeah. Assistant U.S. Attorney goes, did you move to LA with him? Ventura says, yes. He wanted to be close to his kids who were there. Assistant U.S. Attorney goes, where did you live in LA? Ventura, 875 Comstock Avenue. Blah, blah. Assistant U.S. Attorney, how tall was the building? Ventura, no more than 17 floors. Assistant U.S. Attorney. Where did Sean live? Ventura 200 South Mapleton. Sean would use a golf cart to get back and forth. That's how close it was. Assistant U.S. Attorney. Who paid your rent in LA? Ventura Sean. Except when I had the house in Studio City. Assistant U.S. Attorney. Why won't you pay them? I guess, yeah. Ventura, I couldn't afford it then. I could afford it then. And I wanted to have some control. It was accepted. By whom? Ventura, Sean. How many songs did you write while with Sean? Hundreds. Most were never released. Some got leaked on the internet. Some on mixes. Ooh. Oh, he's the one who leaked it all too. He's the one in charge. Oh boy. Assistant U.S. Attorney goes, how many albums on your deal were not released? 9. She said. Assistant U.S. Attorney, did you get paid for them? No, Ventura goes. Ventura, the F-offs became a job. Da, da-da. Nobody wanted to say that was her job. Yeah. There was no time to do anything else but do them, then try to recover. Assistant U.S. Attorney goes, how much time in your week would freak off take, Ventura? The longest was 4 days, significant periods of times. Judge. We'll break here. And then they're back at 116. Judge says, welcome. Assistant attorney goes back. Who was your manager at Bad Boy Records? Ooh. James Cruz, Cassie says. Assistant U.S. Attorney, what did he tell you? Ventura, that he was managing me with one hand tied behind his back. He had to check everything with Sean. Enterprise. Assistant U.S. Attorney, how did you make money if your records weren't being released? Ventura, I did hosting parties when Sean approved them. He was grooming her to do the same. Assistant U.S. Attorney, what comments did Sean make about your physical appearance, Ventura? Did I look too Mexican with my hair like that? Assistant U.S. Attorney goes, how did he like your nails, Ventura? White, French tipped. Assistant U.S. Attorney, hair, Ventura, it varied. I shaved my hair in 2009. Assistant Attorney, your body, Ventura, he told me to work out, prepare for the F-offs. Assistant U.S. Attorney goes, how did you feel about his comments, Ventura? It varied. Assistant U.S. Attorney goes, what else did Sean pay for? Ventura, cars. Assistant U.S. Attorney goes, did he give you cash, Ventura? Yes, but he would take things away depending on how he felt. Assistant U.S. Attorney goes, what else would be taken away, Ventura? My self-confidence, she said. Assistant U.S. Attorney, who would take things away? And Ventura said, the staff. Ventura, I assume the staff. The defense, like, objection, judge. Jury will disregard the last answer. Assistant U.S. Attorney, who look your laptop and phone? Ventura goes, security. Yes, now you're more precise. How long would they be gone for? Assistant U.S. Attorney asks. Ventura goes, however long I was being punished for. Assistant U.S. Attorney goes, how often were you in contact with Sean's staff? Ventura goes, daily. Assistant U.S. Attorney goes, who are in these photos? Ventura is Christina Coram and Miss Fletcher. Fletcher. Here we go, Assistant U.S. Attorney. What did you call Miss Coram? KK. To the K. Assistant U.S. Attorney goes, and who's this, Ventura? Dear Rock. He was Sean's security. Sean's security. Assistant U.S. Attorney. How frequently were you in Sean's residence? Ventura, all the time. Assistant U.S. Attorney goes, did they all have safes? Ventura goes, yes. Assistant U.S. Attorney goes, what did you observe in them? Ventura, cash, jewelry, cameras, and videotapes. Guns in New York, LA, Miami, Alpine, New Jersey. Yeah, Assistant U.S. Attorney goes, do you recall an incident between Sean and Suge Knight? Ventura's like, yes. We were having a F off in LA, and D-Rock came in and said, ooh, D-Rock came in. Security D-Rock comes into the room to ring the freak off. He knows what's going on. Ooh, maybe he's going to cooperate. And said, otherwise, he's accomplice. Anyways, comes in and said Suge Knight was down at a diner. Sean drove over there. Assistant Attorney goes, and what was your reaction, Ventura? I cried. Said, don't do something stupid. Assistant U.S. Attorney, were you ever handed a gun? Oh, she said, yes. Ventura like, yes. We were doing to a club in downtown LA. We had taken mushrooms. I was high. I was told to put the gun in my bag. I was freaked out. Assistant U.S. Attorney goes, who's present? Ventura, a driver, security, and Sean. Ventura, another time I saw them get dressed and grab gun and leave in an SUV. Who? Assistant U.S. Attorney goes, how long were they gone? 30, 40 minutes, Ventura says. Assistant U.S. Attorney's like, let me switch topic. How soon into the relationship did Sean mention a voyeurism to you? Ventura's like first 6 months or a year. I won't be surprised. It's what nobody knows. And this is how people are. And we venerate them like idols. Give me 1 sec. Let me just go fix this comments. Alrighty. Assistant U.S. Attorney. How old were you? Ooh, 22. Ventura said. Assistant U.S. Attorney goes, why did you agree to try a freak off? Ventura, good question. I want to make him happy. Didn't know what she was doing. Sure, let's go. Assistant U.S. Attorney, sadly. Where was the first freak off? Oops. Ventura, one of his home in Los Angeles. Assistant U.S. Attorney shows 2A627. Who is this, Ventura? The first escort. Assistant Attorney goes, do you know his name? Ventura goes, no. Assistant Attorney, I'll call him the first escort. Were you aware he was paid? Ventura, yes, to dance and have intercourse with me. Assistant U.S. Attorney goes, that's how you got lured. Joke aside, guys. It ain't funny when it happens. Assistant U.S. Attorney's like, what drug did you take? Oh. Ventura said, ecstasy and alcohol before things started. Assistant U.S. Attorney goes, did you disguise your appearance? Ventura, Sean said we would disguise ourselves. I wore a masquerade mask. Assistant U.S. Attorney goes, what was a session in a F off? Until the escort finished, she said. How many sessions with first escort? At least two. Assistant U.S. Attorney goes, how did you feel, Ventura? I was high, so I didn't feel much. During confused and that he was happy with me. Assistant U.S. Attorney goes, why did you feel you couldn't say no, Ventura? I didn't want to make him angry or upset after he'd shared this part of himself with me. Hmm. Assistant U.S. Attorney goes, how frequent did freak off become, Ventura? Weekly? For consistent amount of years. A consistent amount of years. Wow. Assistant U.S. Attorney goes, when was your last one? 2017, 2018, she said, Ventura. Assistant U.S. Attorney goes, how long were you awake during the freak off? Ventura's like, I never slept. I took drugs. Ecstasy and Molly, cocaine, she said. Whoops. U.S. Attorney goes, do you recall all the freak offs? Ventura, that would be impossible. Did you want to stop, Ventura? Yes, I was humiliated. I didn't have those words. I didn't have those words then. I couldn't talk to anyone about it. Assistant U.S. Attorney, did you tell him about you didn't want to? Yes, she said. Ventura, I brought it up gently. I didn't want him to just do it with someone else. That's all he wanted to do. That's what voyeurism is. But let's keep at it. Were you able to express your concern to him? Defense objection, leading, rephrase the judge. Assistant U.S. Attorney goes, why would you talk to him gently? Ventura, I didn't want him to be angry. Assistant U.S. Attorney, what is this? Ventura, email between me and Sean. What did you call him? Pop, she said. Why, Ventura? He asked me what I called my grandfather. Oh, Lord. I did it, but I think it was disrespectful. It was disrespectful after all these years. No wonder that dad was very embarrassed there. But the mom held it up. Kudos to the mama. Assistant U.S. Attorney, what did you write? Ventura, I really need to F, she said. Assistant Attorney, why did you write that, Ventura? Because I wanted to be with him. Assistant U.S. Attorney, I'll read your message. You read yours. Assistant, I'll read your message. You read yours. Okay. Assistant U.S. Attorney goes, Sean, you don't want to do anymore. Ventura, I'm so predictable. Assistant U.S. Attorney, what did you think this meant? Ventura, that he knew I didn't want to do the freak offs anymore, but then I backpedaled. Assistant U.S. Attorney, why, Ventura? To not make him angry, you couldn't be violent. Assistant U.S. Attorney goes, where you get your outfit, Ventura? Pleasure chest elsewhere. Did you get piercings? Ventura, yes, Sean came with me. Assistant U.S. Attorney goes, which of his homes did you have the F-offs out in? Ventura, Miami, New York. Assistant U.S. Attorney, what other homes? Ventura, my home, all but Studio City. Assistant U.S. Attorney goes, in what other cities? Ventura, Atlanta, Ibiza. Assistant U.S. Attorney goes, in what hotel in New York did you have the freak offs? Ventura goes Trump's Gramercy, Gramercy, Assistant U.S. Attorney, Intercontinental, Ventura 44th Street, yes. Assistant U.S. Attorney elsewhere, Ventura, Madrid, Oriental, Fontainebleau. Assistant U.S. Attorney goes, what names were used, Ventura? Jackie Starr, I used. Frank Black for Sean. Assistant U.S. Attorney, what supplies for free calls? Ventura, Astroglide, the B oil again, and the C, of course. Assistant U.S. Attorney, who brought the supplies? Ventura Security, Sean's assistant. Oh, we all work for Sean. Assistant U.S. Attorney, which brand of baby oil? Ventura, again, that brand. It's getting way too popular, this brand. Assistant U.S. Attorney, how was it used? Ventura, Sean said, you need to be glistening. Assistant U.S. Attorney, were there F-offs where you ran out of baby oil? Defense, objection, Your Honor. This is irrelevant. Assistant U.S. Attorney mentioned also Astroglide. Defense, same objection, irrelevant. Judge, sidebar. Assistant U.S. Attorney goes, we were just talking about Astroglide. How was it used? Ventura goes, as that. Assistant U.S. Attorney goes, yeah, as lubricant. Assistant U.S. Attorney goes, if you ran out, what? Ventura would call either staff or he'd bell desk, give them a tip. Assistant U.S. Attorney, where the F off lit? Ventura, initially it was candle, strong smelling glade. And glade. Assistant U.S. Attorney, any other use of a candle wax? Ventura, a few times poured on my body. Assistant U.S. Attorney goes, who set the temperature of the room? Ventura, Sean, I was expected to do F off on my, wrong days. Assistant U.S. Attorney, did you want to do that? Of course not. Assistant U.S. Attorney, did you want to be you on? Defense Attorney, objection. Judge grounds, he asks. Defense asks and answer. Judge overruled. Ventura, I did not want it. No. Assistant U.S. Attorney, how did it feel? Ventura, it was disgusting. It was too much. I choked. No one could think I wanted it. Oh, right in his face, dumb. But that's what free cops are. And he told you he was a voyeur and a nasty man. Assistant U.S. Attorney, why were you choking? Ventura, oh, too much of that in my mouth. Assistant U.S. Attorney goes, who else did on you? Of course, Ventura is going to say, that Sean. Did you want Sean to do on you? Assistant Attorney asked. Ventura, I didn't want anyone to do the you on me. Assistant U.S. Attorney, how often did it happen? Ventura, often enough. Assistant Attorney goes, which hotel charged the most for damages to the room? Ventura, Intercontinental, and in New York, they redecorated the whole room for ridiculous money. Assistant U.S. Attorney, back to the you, Judge. Mr. Johnson, only a few more questions. Assistant U.S. Attorney goes, why didn't you say no, Ventura? It was obvious. I want to be the ground. I didn't want to be on the ground being on by two men. That's exactly what they were doing. Looking at you and having their pleasure. Ha ha ha. Where did you find escorts? Ventura goes, initially Craigslist. Wow, I would be pissed for her. I'm pissed for her. This is wrong. Just pure R. Kelly. And do you guys remember R. Kelly? Apparently, he was thrown under the bus by his puffy friend and bunch, set him up to get caught, and look at him doing the same thing, hoping to get away with it with all the assistance. The judge did will break. Good. Ready. He comes back. All rise. Miss Ventura, in what city did you respond to ads on Craigslist? She says in New York. Assistant U.S. Attorney goes, did you respond to ads on Backpage as well? Ventura goes, yes. U.S. Attorney Johnson, who directed to communicate with escorts? Who directed you to communicate with escorts? Defense, objection. U.S. Attorney, if anyone. Defense, same objection. As a fact, not evidence. Assistant U.S. Attorney goes, did you ever reach out to escorts independently? Nope. Did you ever not use an escort? Did you ever not use an escort who arrived? One couldn't perform, so Sean sent him home. What was a safe escort? A naughty cop and someone who wouldn't run to tell everyone. We need safe ones that don't know about their experience with us. Assistant U.S. Attorney goes, why not a cop? Venture, I learned this whole situation was not legal. Cassie, good girl. She learned that she found out it was illegal. Well, that's why you're getting blackmailed by him too. Defense goes, objection. Judge, jury will disregard the last answer. How did cash get there? Judge, security, or he brought it himself? Assistant U.S. Attorney, did cash? Okay, Judge. Ventura, Judge, security, or brought it himself? Assistant U.S. Attorney, the escort thief. Do you know his real name? Ventura goes, Clayton Howard. Assistant U.S. Attorney, who is this? Photo shown to the witness. Ventura, Daniel. Assistant U.S. Attorney goes, what service did you use? Ventura, a dancer service. Assistant U.S. Attorney Johnson, do you recognize Jules? Yes, she said. Assistant U.S. Attorney goes, in what city did you have F off with Jules? Ventura's like New York, LA, Vegas. Assistant U.S. Attorney goes, do you know his name? Ventura's like, no. Who's this? Ventura, I knew him as the Punisher who was in court. Was it yesterday or today? Yesterday. Assistant U.S. Attorney goes, did you see a drugs at every F-offs? Ventura, yes, I needed to dissociate and become emotionless. Assistant U.S. Attorney goes, who else used the drugs at the F-offs? Ventura, Sean did, sometimes the escorts. Assistant U.S. Attorney's like, what other D's did you use? Ventura's like, ooh, a special letter there, that G and B, and the shrooms. Assistant Attorney goes, I'll read Sean's part of his email. You read, you Ventura. When should I take the things? When will you be there? Assistant U.S. Attorney pausing there. What did you mean, Ventura? Drugs? Assistant U.S. Attorney Sean, I took mine. I'm flying. Assistant U.S. Attorney, what does he mean? Ventura, he's high. Assistant U.S. Attorney goes, why did you take more drugs? Ventura, to not be present with the experience. Assistant U.S. Attorney goes, why? Ventura, because it was something I hated. Assistant U.S. Attorney goes, how did you react to ecstasies and the MMAs? Ventura, if you could make, Ventura says, it could make me vomit. Assistant U.S. Attorney goes, what would he say? To continue, did you want to continue have intercourse when you wanted to vomit? Assistant U.S. Attorney asked. She said no. He does the G and B. How does G and B make you feel? They asked her. She said drunk and tipsy. How about the co? Venture's like, and make my heart race. I'm not a huge fan. Assistant U.S. Attorney asked about the shrooms. The walls come alive. Judge, we'll take a break. Cassie's back. Judge, you may continue. So, Assistant Johnson, when drugs ran out, how did you know who to reach out to? Ventura. Sean would tell me, Assistant U.S. Attorney, during the session, how would you know to move to the next step? Assistant, she says, Sean. Assistant U.S. Attorney goes, what would happen after the escort finished? On you, Sean, would want it put on. Okay, in the next room. That's what she said, guys. That was actually for real. Assistant U.S. Attorney. Did you do that? I did. Where? Usually, oh boy. On that. Assistant U.S. Attorney, did you want to do that? Ventura's like, no. No, I could picture her. Assistant U.S. Attorney. How did you feel? I was an object. Being heavily objectified by a man. In between. Sometimes he would watch by FaceTime, Assistant U.S. Attorney. Were some session recorded on your device, Ventura? Because they were there. Assistant U.S. Attorney, if you saw them on your device, what would you do? I would delete them, she said. Assistant U.S. Attorney asked why. Ventures, they were disgusting. I never wanted anyone to see them. Assistant U.S. Attorney would be, were Sean's devices used sometimes? Ventura's like, yes, I asked him to delete them. Assistant U.S. Attorney, did he? Ventura, I don't know. Did you ever leave a F off before it was over? Ventura, yes, said the Century City Intercontinental. I finally had a premiere coming up, and I didn't want to mess up. But Sean hit me. Assistant U.S. Attorney goes, at what point did Sean hit you between sessions? She said, oof. Assistant U.S. Attorney, what happened next? Ventura got to the elevator. Next thing I knew, I was thrown on the ground. Yeah, we all saw that, girl. We're sorry. We're really, really sorry. Assistant U.S. Attorney, who threw you down? Sean. Everybody can say it now. Sean, and point the finger at Sean. He grabbed me by my neck and my hoodie. Assistant U.S. Attorney, let me show you the video again. Here we go. Assistant U.S. Attorney goes, what are you doing, Ventura, trying to use the hotel phone? What is Sean doing? Taking my phone and my bag. Judge, we'll break for the day. With the jury gone, John, what about pool reporters seeing the video? Assistant U.S. Attorney, we oppose that, and Jane does too. Judge, I am previously denying any pool reviewing. That's my reading on Maxwell. So I guess we're going to have to continue on at this one for tomorrow, but let's go see what was done. Yesterday. Yeah, so let's go to Court TV because Court TV is nice. Do I have it open? Let me see. Court TV, maybe I have it open. Yay. So let's go what we saw in Court TV. So Court TV, got that yesterday. Let's see what happened today. Court TV, yeah. Okay. So today, Homeland Security's investigation agent was there. Gerard Gannon detailed the federal search of Combs' property in Star Island. Yeah, 80 to 90 agents were present to the residence near Miami and used an armored vehicle to crash through the security gate while deploying boats to patrol the water nearby because he has access to water. Gannon showed juror handgun, ammunition, drugs, and other items found during the raid, including bottles again. Forensic psychologist Don M.Q., PhD, testified on abuse, coercive control, initiated part, and intimate, intimate partner violence. Hugh explained that victims said stay in abusive relationship for a very variety of reasons, including fear they won't be believed, fear of future violence, lack of, tangible and financial resources. Hugh testified that it is common for victims of domestic abuse not to disclose the abuse, which is referred to as a delay response. She said that. And we did read this one yesterday about the Punisher. What else? Okay, you know what? Let's read what happened this week. Okay, let's get it checked. So on the 19th, before testimony resumed on Monday, rolling admission of her say testimony, both sides sought to admit. The judge said portion of the proposed testimony struck him as a case built on gossip instead of what witnesses actually saw. Prosecutor called a former friend of Cassie, Carrie Morgan, a singer Don Richard was there, which I've already read her case, to collaborate Ventura's allegation of physical and psychological abuse against Combs. She actually details it on her own suit as an employee of Combs. I think, she tried to help her. Combs and support Ventura's Combs against Combs and support Ventura's testimony that Combs controlled her career and livelihood. Combs co-counsel Nicole Westmore Grill, former Bad Boy recording artist Don Richards, on consistent statements she gave over the course of the investigation. You know what? Sorry, Nicole. I mean, there wasn't much. Even though you might think she wasn't credible, she was a witness of Cassie, and she's not there for Diddy anyways, and she was also an employee and also could have been part of crimes which she's actually alleging. So here we go. And what else? Alleged threats to people going missing, or she did say that. And she saw Combs using drugs and carry firearms. Singer Don Richard returned to the stand, testifying Combs threatened to kill her if she told anyone what she saw. Pretty much what she said in her suit. Him beat his longtime girlfriend. Richard said the day after she saw Combs trying to hit Cassie with a skillet and beat her, he told her and another woman who saw the attack, "We would go missing if either revealed what they saw." Richard said she took that to mean that she could die. Oh, yeah. And Don Richard actually has suffered health-wise as well, working and trying to be an artist under Diddy. So, yeah. The alleged incident happened just as Richard was beginning to record with Diddy for a musical trio the two had formed with another singer. Richard said she frequently saw Combs punch, choke, drag, stab Cassie, even kicking, punching her in the stomach. She testified to 3 specific instances of alleged abuse from 2009 to 2010. Richard said she didn't intervene or disclose what she saw because she thought it was best for her safety and because she wasn't ready to leave. On a cross-examination, Combs' attorney pushed Richard about her civil lawsuit, everybody knows, against the mogul, which is still pending. Combs co-counsel was Grill, former Bad Boys recording artist. Richard, in inconsistent statements she gave over the course of the investigation, including her beating disclosure of Combs' alleged threat about people going missing, or that she saw Combs using drugs or carry firearms. Cassie's former best friend and roommate, Carrie Morgan, testified that Combs led her with a concussion after choking her, slinging a wooden hanger at her in 2018 when he came to Cassie's Los Angeles home enraged because he thought Cassie was dating someone else. Even if she was, it gave you no right. Morgan testified that Combs' jealousy, violent and controlling reputation through several alleged instances in which Morgan said she saw Combs physically attack and belittle Ventura. Morgan said she encouraged Ventura to report the 2016 hotel incident to the police and leave, but Ventura feared the potential consequences to her career or loss of car, apartment, and hers that Combs controlled. Of course. Morgan accused Combs of strangling and hitting her in the head with a wooden hanger in 2018. During a jealous rage over Ventura, Morgan said the incident led her to end her friendship with Ventura after Ventura sided with Combs, accusing Morgan of milking it for 30 grand payoff from Combs. Morgan said she was going to sue Combs, but Cassie had her sign a non-disclosure agreement in exchange for that $30,000 while accusing her of milking and exaggerating the attack. The episode ended. The episode ended. Yeah, the woman's 17-year friendship, with both women testifying they haven't spoken since years. Yeah. Morgan said she encouraged Cassie to break up with him, but she said Cassie was reluctant to end the relationship because he controlled everything. She wouldn't have lost all of her life. She would have lost all livelihood. The prosecution continued effort to exempt the case beyond Ventura alleged criminal enterprise by eliciting testimony from former personal assistant David James about the inner working of Combs in prior, including the grueling schedule employees were expected to keep. James testified that the SVP of Human Resources told him in his interview that that this is Mr. Combs' kingdom, and that we are all here to serve him. Well. Let's see. Yeah, hold on. This one is the 16th. Let me check. So if the 16th was probably Friday, yeah. So the 16th, I can read that at the end of mine. Started from the 16th. Yeah, finish up tomorrow. All right. So I guess it is time to sign out. I would like to say, sadly, we are at the end of the Saga Reveal. I want to take the time in a moment to personally say thank you for being here and hanging out with me. My tea is cold and I gotta go and refresh it. See you tomorrow. Same tube time, same tube channel. All right. Your host, Madem-Oiselle.